I think we are live. What's up, JP? Christian? Frank C. Ben Coombs? Blackjack? Guitar Man? Jay Jennings? What's up, Michael? I always forget how awesome this guitar is. What's up, Ron? What's up, Terry? What's up, Strat CPO? Dan of NJ, Gary Davlin. I know, right, John? It's Saturday already. and it was just that fast. What's up, J. Beebs? What's up, Lukes? What's up, Tactical? House of Twang? I gotta catch up here. Max Josephson, Walter, Lars, Art Perez, Friedrich, Majestic PBJ, Cat. Oh, thanks, Ben. What's up, Christopher? What's up, Quentin? What's up, Richard? And Colin? And Jeff E. This isn't, let's just put this down. I'm just gonna throw this in the nice guitar category, okay? I'm just saying. We can, like, keywords and hashtags. Nice. Right, Ron, the Tree of Life. Yeah, so do I, Frank. I like the 7S too. What's up, Brian? What's up, Ed Axman? What's up, Jim? What's up, Mike Jones? What's up, Queen Team in Scotland? What's up, Jeff? Justin? Going a little fast now. Johnny R. And I think Chris and James and Star Guitar Works. Howdy. And Ripley. And they have a progressive. There are markers, if you notice, at the first fret and the third fret, and the fifth fret. It's a little bit more going on. And on the side, of course, there's markers. There's side markers among the. It's got a lot of flame. You see the flame? It's hard with the light to get the flame to pop. But the sides are flame maple. Just like both of the Volas. Two were made in Japan and one's made in the USA. I almost said all three made in Japan, but they're not. One's US. What's up, Tonosaurus? What's up, Mr. 845? Dave? Mr. Jam and Jerry? The new Viper's out. It's going by fast now. What's up, Draconia and Leo? And Green Meanie. That is better than a 10 top from PRS. It should be. It's extremely limited edition. I think they made 9 of these. This is one of 9 according to my leather-bound certificate of authenticity. This really is like a showpiece guitar, But I like to play them. Yeah, nice snack, right, Ripley? Yeah. It's got the flambe. Steve, why was the cat in your weatherman's arms? You really want to know? It's because he was doing it at home. in front of a green screen, and the cat showed up and would not stop bothering him until he picked it up. And it was just like, it kind of went a little viral because it was so pandemic, right? People working from home, going over Zoom and on a green screen, and that, you can just see that cat like, please, I am in charge here. Plus, it tied in with this week's sort of roller coaster story, which is that we saw a very, very serious and significant rain event, and it was really slated for me. Like, as we got closer and closer to the day, they sort of color code like where they think the worst rain is going to be, and it went from like green to yellow to orange to red to white. And in the white zone, it was 4 to 5 inches, and it was literally right over me. At first, it started. They're like, yeah, it's going to be raining, but it's sort of out to sea, and it's really going to be like the Cape and the Islands. They're going to see the rain. We're not going to see too much. Very quick cutoff. Then they're like, oh, wait a second. It's coming back a little bit more inland. And as we got closer to it, and the confidence got better and better, that goddamn white line was right over my head. And talk about me freaking out for pretty much about two straight days, all of Tuesday and all of Wednesday. And it was coming because they were talking about it Tuesday, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be bad. I mean, I flood down here at 3 inches. 4 to 5 inches is gonna be a goddamn nightmare, and I knew it. And it was gonna be overnight, which means I'm gonna be up all night, which I didn't want to be. So I started to prepare. I did all kinds of prep down here, way more prep than I did. Before, I got everything off the floor, but this time I got stuff off the floor. I used the shop vac and vacuumed up any debris. I vacuumed up all the cat hair off the rug, because that cat hair goes down into the sump. It gets lifted by the water and goes into the sump and clogs it. So I did a whole bunch of prep and was all ready for it. And we did see some rain, but it just wasn't enough to even come above the floor. And then there was like a huge break. And then it came back again, like the next morning. I got up early. I got a few hours of sleep. And then Thursday I got up, and it had all shifted a little bit south. And they did get 4 to 5 inches of rain. It just wasn't over me. Instead of, coming up like right over me, it shifted just ever so slightly south and was like, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles away. It was so close, but like they said, it's a very sharp cutoff from like where the really heavy rain is and where there's like not so much. And so I think over the total of the 24 hours, I think we got an inch, maybe 1.1 inches, something like that, that's easily, we can deal with that. I spent all of Tuesday cleaning all the drains out, in the house, changing one out that had some leaks and everything, and making all these changes to basically getting the water away from the house, and then Wednesday was all prepping down here, getting everything ready for what I expected to be. Because I was like, of course it's going to be right over me. Of course I'm going to get 4 to 5 inches of rain. Of course, as soon as I get it dried out down here, it's going to be completely soaking wet again. Of course, because I'm on the endless treadmill that leads to the bottomless pit, And I was like very, very lucky that sort of just dipped a little south and really not that far away. And they did get soaked. And I dodged the bullet. I could not. I was so friggin' happy. I was like, I cannot even tell you the relief. And the other thing is that you go through, because in my calculation, the way it looked by even like Wednesday afternoon was a 100% chance of basement flooding. Okay? 100%. Unless they were wrong. right? Unless they're wrong. If the meteorology, if the forecast is wrong, then I don't know what it's going to be. The forecast was wrong. It did not quite come all the way inland as far as they thought, and it set up just a little south. And that was it. That was enough to save my ass from a massive flood down here, because they did get that much rain. And I'll take it. I will friggin' take it, because I was losing it for about 2 days. And let me get back to the comments here. Yeah, look, people like I want to see the guitar a little closer. Not there. Hold on, let me make sure this is on here. Yeah. Yep. That's the Ibby. I got this guitar for really short money compared to what they just sold. One of these, you could have got one of these for like, I think they wanted $3,600, which is way too much. Way too much. You're never going to get that for this guitar. New, you could have got it less than $3,600. You know, I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking it had a 4666 list, but that was a ridiculous price that nobody used. They sold, I think, for the most part, you could get them when they were brand new. If you went to a dealer that wasn't looking to really cash in, $29.99, could have got it for $3,000. $31.99 for anybody who wanted to just, skim a couple of hundred extra off the top of the sale, talking about how rare it would be and all this stuff. They made 54 guitars this year. This is 2011. They made 54 of these. These are exclusively for the U.S. market. It all means nothing, because this is a copy of a far more popular guitar in Japan that they've made many, many versions of. And the very next year, they did almost the exact same guitar, and they just called it the 2012. Okay, so it's meaningless. But for the year 2011, in this run for the year 2011, you had to put your order in for this guitar by the end of January, right? So they took orders at NAMM, and they pretty much told everybody, if you wanted to put an order in, get it in by the end of January. And I think they were doing a max of like 10 a month, and they would have them out over the course of the year, and all out of the custom shop. And you could have got, I think they made 9 in black, 9 in red, 9 in purple, 9 in blue, and 18 in the violin burst. One of the violin bursts, not this year, the next year, the 2012 one, which looks exactly the same as the 2011, but 2012. One of those was up on Guitar Center used recently. They wanted, like I said, they wanted $3,600, which is ridiculous. But they dropped it down to $2,200, and that's pretty respectable. And then after it didn't sell for a while, they dropped it to, I want to say it was like $18, $19, something like that. That's a pretty good price. That's not bad. I, of course, paid $14.99 for this, and fell over myself to buy it because you just don't, that's like literally, half of brand new, and a good $1,000 less than what they were going for on Reverb, which I know is inflated. Reverb is inflated, without a doubt. But Reverb, they were getting like $2,500, and I was like, you know what? Oh, $14.99 came with everything. And when I say it comes with case candy, it comes with a ridiculous amount of case candy and a special satin sheet that goes over it, and a special embroidered case with a purple interior. The guitar is, it's something. It's a buying experience. And as soon as I saw it, I knew what it was. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's a goddamn J Custom for under $1,500. And I called him up, and I was like, hey, you got the case? He's like, I got the case. I got the book. I got the certificate of authenticity. I've got the tool kit. I got everything. And of course the bar, I put the bar in for the first time tonight. I took it out of the bag for the first time. It was unscratched. I've already scratched it. So, anyway. Tone lives? Yeah, of course you tuck it in at night. Of course. You know? Yeah, it's no longer a Virgin bar. I know. And Steve, after you bought the house, when did you find out about the water problem? Probably took about a year. You know, I remember, you know, I accidentally unplugged the sump pump. And I came down, and there was a friggin' inch of water on the floor. It was like a pond down here. And I was like, oh, my God. Whoa, whoa. Oh, I forgot to leave the sump pump plugged in. And I plugged it in, and it started to sump everything out. And I was like, oh, you'll never forget that again. And then I didn't really have it really come up after that. And then I had a really bad one where it was pumping out, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's keeping up on it, it's keeping up on it. And I came down the next morning, and that was over the first step, well over the first step. What are steps? I think they're 7 inches. It was well over the first step. And I was like, oh my God, I unplugged the sump pump again. But I hadn't. It was running, and it was burning red hot. It could not keep up with the water coming in. And I had to run to my dad, who had at one time an above-ground swimming pool and had a pool pump, submersible pool pump with the hose, like ready to go. He goes, come right here. He goes, I got one right here. I went to Home Depot. They were sold out. Couldn't get another pump. And he's like, oh, no, I have one. I said, you don't happen to have a pump? He goes, I do, for the pool. And so I added that to it, and that got ahead of it. Once I added that, it took about maybe a half hour, maybe an hour to finally get ahead, you know, to get it down to bare floor, and then the sump pump just keeping up. But, man, that was crazy. That destroyed my computer, right, because it got way up and just burned the computer out. I forget if it might have killed our freezer, might have burned out our freezer. We're lucky we didn't have a fire. In fact, all of the outlets down here are ground fault protected. They're all GFCs. And that one popped, the one that feeds this corner with the freezer on the other side of this wall. And I think it hit the freezer and it popped the GFC, which is a good thing. Hey, what's up, Robert? What's up, Aljon? Two of my favorite people right here, right now. What's up, guys? Hey, Robert, are you going to, you trekking over to Hennings? He's doing that thing in a couple of weeks. Good to see you, Aljon. I know it is. You know what, Daniel, you're right. It is water-based PTSD. It is like just every time they go, oh, big freaking rainstorm coming, I'm like, the dread sets in. You know, the dread sets in. And then you're sitting there on pins and needles, just, praying for a goddamn miracle. What? It's sliding south. It's a goddamn movie. It's sliding south. That's what my life has become. I said, can you imagine a world where they say we're going to have a massive rainstorm, and you go, oh, look at that. Interesting. I don't know that world. My last house, we installed GFC outlets everywhere. Yeah, down here, I kind of wanted them. It's like, let's do all, they were more than twice, probably 4 times the cost of a standard outlet, but I got all 20 amp GFCs. Gotta do the GFC, you know. Well, there is an engineering solution to the water issue, but you are correct. Your assumption is correct, though probably super expensive. Yeah, they were talking around 10 grand 10 years ago. It's probably 20 grand now. I'm not going this year, no. Not this year, but his lineup is good. Yeah, no, I agree. No, I'm not going. Yeah. Though I next year I'm gonna make him let me go. I couldn't go this year anyway. Daniel says I had the same problem with the house. Yeah, it's a high water table. Once we get just like X amount of rain, and it really depends on how much rain you've already had and how saturated the ground is. But once you hit a certain level, it just comes straight up through the floor like a swimming pool. You know, the only way you can get rid of it is to divert all the water to one place and then pump it out and away from the thing. It's like you're just constantly bailing water out of a sinking ship, right? What's up, Guitar Hack? I could come down and see you if you're in the country. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, no, if listen, I will let you know every time I am I'm back in the area, without a doubt. And of course, if you ever come to Boston, and take time to visit me in Berlin. You know, I'd like to do, we'll wait till, you know, maybe the kids are out of high school and on to college, but we've talked about, my wife and I, doing a little Germany trip, you know, going around seeing, you know, pretty much all the major cities, maybe do a little castle tour, you know, as well. It's like beers, cities, castles. That about covers it. Lived in a house with a natural springs all nearby. You could dig about 18, 20 feet, and the hole would fill with water. Yeah, that's pretty much what they... I think what they did here, because there's so much stone around, I think they blasted all the foundations out. And although there's soil up there, it very quickly just turns to rock. And so, you know, eventually, you know, the water has no place to go. There's no draining further under the house because you're hitting solid rock. Right? And there's no place for it to go. Headstock says my house was built in 1886, same year as the Statue of Liberty was brought. Yeah, we were buying a house from 1863, 1862. It was Civil War era house in Boston, like up on this like pretty famous hill with a lot of big fat mansions around there. But the you know, first of all, you'd be stuck in Boston school system, so it is more expensive to live there. We're in a much better area right now than that place, but that house was friggin' amazing. Big, tall, you know, like probably 11-foot ceilings, you know, all central air. He had blown in all insulation, all brand new windows, double pane windows. And big double parlor with, you know, picture floor, right? Picture frame floors. You know, the floors are framed, right? Pretty nice appointments. A paneled dining room, a 3-season porch, all brand new central air and heating. Brand new back room with a fireplace, because you know, front and rear staircases. You know you're in a nice house when you have 2 staircases. And they were going through a divorce, and we just couldn't get the friggin' house out of them. And when that fell through, we wound up buying this house. Yeah, right now, I would be scared to sell my house because I'd be scared to try and buy a house right now. Inventory is at like record lows. You should install a separate septic tank. We can't have septic here. We're not allowed to. Plot's too small. We have to be on city. My land is too small. They'd never allow me to put a septic tank in. I would have to go through. There was a Title V. There's a big body of septic tank law in Massachusetts, and I almost certainly don't qualify. Michael says he's got 2 staircases. Nice, bro. Dual cases, bro. When you got the front and the rear. We had that in the house in West Roxbury. What's up, James? Good to see you, buddy. Just bought a new 50 standard Gibson. Love it. Good for you. I got the classic sitting right there. That's my backup. You know, I hadn't played it. I hadn't had it out in a little bit because of, you know, what with all the PTSD and all. Although I don't want to make light of real PTSD because that's not. But no, seriously, it really is depressing. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. You know, it fills you with anxiety, and you know, you're running around like crazy for a little bit, and you're just hoping you're prepared enough and you don't lose power. And if you do, you're awake when it happens, and you can run out and start the generator. I mean, this is the life you live, okay? Yeah, someone owned the house before us, and they're the ones that put in the sump. But he has a fall-in sump. In other words, the water's supposed to go over the surface and fall into the sump and then get pumped out because he didn't want to pump out water that was under the ground. He was too cheap. Or maybe he couldn't get too low. Maybe he hit solid rock too quickly, and that's the best he could do. I don't even know. Maybe you can't dig deep. Maybe as you dig down into the sump here, you hit rock very quickly. I wouldn't doubt it. But anyway, it's a very small sump. It's probably a 12-inch diameter. Oh, thanks, Vinny P. Oh, thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. I've got my entire place nearing the end soon, yeah. My parents bought a house that we completely gutted. And, you know, it was a big project. It was a like years-long project. Trying to catch up with the comments here. Yeah, back staircase is always small and narrow, right? The butler's case, staircase, yeah. Although the one we had in West Roxbury was pretty good size. And it went right from the other side of my bedroom, right down to the kitchen. I loved it. Explosive work wonders on rock. Yeah, they were trying to do a radio show the other day from Gillette, but they've got some rock out there, and they were blasting, and they're like, "Oh my God, do you feel the ground?" The ground was shaking so hard. They would. Oh my God, they must have cracked some foundations because I remember they were blasting out to put in some stuff, and we were pretty far away from them. We were pretty far down the street from them, and our house was shaking pretty hard. And I can imagine the people that were a lot closer to them must have been livid, because they had a big crane, and they were dropping a big mat. They were drilling a hole, dropping in dynamite or whatever, TNT, and then covering it with this big mat, right, to cover the blast up, and then blasting the rock out. It was pretty crazy. Hi, Steve from Erie, Pennsylvania. What's up? Definitely inspired, trying to get your tones. Don't have a computer. Just 2 amps and a few pedals. It's, it's hard. I tell you what, a lot of the secret to this tone is just the stereo signal. It really does open up a certain sound that... Maybe going mobile, living the van life for a little while. Stream from various parts of the country. A little solar-powered rig. I don't know. I am pretty much a creature of comfort. It's your Saturday reminder, Dennis. Vince Neil's going to play your state fair next week. Well, in his defense, a state fair can actually be pretty big, but a state fair can be pretty big. But I thought he was maybe taking a little break because his voice needed a little bit of work, because he was blowing out, right? He'd get a couple of tunes out, and then his voice would be shot, and he was going, sorry, and walking off stage. Didn't that happen pretty recently? No? Thanks, Ripley. Exactly, in a van down by the river. So when you say G&K, is that Galleon Kruger? Because we did have the Galleon Krugers. We sold them, those little stereo. It was a solid state stereo amp with 2 little speakers and a built-in chorus. Those things rocked. Those rocked. They weren't cheap, but they weren't super expensive either, because they were solid state. Oh, I remember selling a few of those little Galleon Krugers, if that's what you mean by G&K. Yeah, it had a little, it had a push button for it was a little gray. It had a little run of knobs at the top. A little stereo. I could probably find one real quick. Yeah, we sold them. We were a Galleon Kruger dealer. And, yeah, Galleon Kruger. Why is it that... I kind of remember... I kind of remember this one. Is that the 250 ml? That's the one I remember, the gray one. This one. Right, that's the one I really remember. And they probably made a bass amp too. Right, the old Galleon Kruger, twin little speakers. It's kind of an early version of maybe the Yamaha, right? That's out now. But these had a little bit of power. These were meant to be like for a pro, if I remember correctly. Right, had a little bit of juice. So the guitar I'm playing now, this is, I think they call it is it RGC, right, for custom? Or it's a JC RG. That might be what it is, JC RG. J Custom, JC RG. 2011. And then I want to say it's DR for a deep red. for the color. With your Damasio pickups and your wicked thick flame top. And I don't know if you can see on the fretboard there, flame binding. I gotta get it just in the light, just right. With the flambe. Yeah, right. The little combo was loud, right? Yeah. No, they were kind of like surprisingly loud and had a wonderful stereo sound to them. You're like, oh, that sounds a little different, you know? And they were light and kind of punchy, right? Very punchy mid-range tone, very like mid, right? And yeah. No, we sold a few of those. I remember a couple of them broke down though. They weren't the most reliable amp, if I remember correctly. I had the same guitar on a 3120 in deep red. This is probably not called deep red because they probably gave it a special color, but it's the same exact color. This has, it's not a thicker neck. This is the, I don't think they call it the Wizard. Is it the Wizard 3? I don't think so. I think it's the Ultra, right? Isn't it the Ultra neck that goes on these? Yeah, of course the headstock's also flamed. It's all flames. Of course it's flamed. I'd flip it over, but I renew my objection. It's a mahogany body too. I renew my objection to this stupid, you can see it down the cable at the end, the stupid reverse Steve Vai. I hate that. I hate it. Put me down. I do not like that. I do not like the reverse jack input. I would, if I was going to make my own like J custom guitar, I would put it at the bottom and not in the reverse like that. But that's the way this came. I worked at a place called Norfolk County Music. They had 2 locations. Yeah, I think Alter is beyond Wizard. I think this was the top of the top of the top, right? Again, a 4666 list, which nobody paid. Nobody. I think most of them, if you just bought it from a dealer that was looking to move it pretty quickly, it was $29.99. And the dealer was probably making $1,000, you know. If you're lucky, you'll see one of these around $19.99, $21.99, $22.99. You see them like around there. It's really the 8750. It's also the RG 2012, right? The JCRG 2012. This is the JCRG 2011. Again, both targeted for the U.S. I think it's the 8750 is the, or the 8570. I can't even remember now. But it's basically this exact guitar, but Japanese only market. And what was happening is people were importing this guitar, and finally they said, well, why don't we just make one for the U.S. market? And they did. This was it. This is the first run, and it came with that case and all the crap that goes with it. And then I think they did it the next year, but it probably didn't have the book and all that other crap. I don't even know what the tchotchkes were that they threw in that case. But eventually, all became moot because they just came out with this guitar in the U.S. market, and then it was right. Then they no more special runs. It was just available. And again, I think it's the 80. Is it the 8570 or the 8750? I forget. It's one of them. It's one of those 8000 series. 8750 going for 28 to 3000. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. That's what that should go for. That's about right. You know. That's why when I saw it for as low as I did, I couldn't throw my wallet at the screen fast enough. Because I knew what I was looking at. I was like, that's an expensive guitar. And it looked dead mint, which it is. I actually put a little ding in it. And Wackenzy body on the back here. And I put a tiny friggin' ding right at the edge of the back of this mahogany body. It's lacquer. When did they ever make a lacquer friggin' Ibanez? Never. Right? The body's poly. I mean the neck is poly, and it's a satin back with a poly headstock. But the body, you can feel it's sticky. That's lacquer all day. And where I hit it and it cracked the way lacquer cracks, right? That brittle, small, glass looking. I'm like, oh, that's right, it's lacquer. Be careful, be careful. It's on poly. J Custom still the top of the food chain? I think so. Absolutely, for Ibanez. The USA Custom might be considered a little bit higher, but that's for artists only. There is no commercially available stuff from the USA Custom shop. That's only for artists. Like Steve Vai, he probably has a whole bunch, and Joe Satriani, I'm sure they have a whole bunch of stuff from the USA Custom shop. I was at the right place at the right time. I saw it online. As soon as I called him up, I was like, dude, he's like, and he told me, I go, so why so cheap? And he goes, why $14.99? And he goes, the dude bought it, and he had it for like about a year. And then he came back and he traded it in, it was sort of like, I'll never play it, and I need the money and whatever. He goes, we traded it in. He goes, and 8 months later, it was still on the shelf. He goes, he came back in, I don't want it to sell to anybody else. I'm going to buy it back. He buys it back. Then he comes back in like 6 months to a year later, and no. And he buys it, right? So he basically sells it, he goes back, he buys it. He goes back in, he sells it, and then comes back in and buys it again, right? Right, so this is like the third time he's bought this guitar. He bought it new and then used twice. You dig what's happening here? Over a period of a couple of years, right? And eventually he doesn't show back up again for like 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And then he showed up. The last time they'd seen him was like 2012 or 2013. 2013, the guy was telling me. And then he showed up in 2019 looking to sell it. I still had the guitar, still in the case, never used. And they said, okay, and they bought it for short money because it had been so long. And quite frankly, the price kept dropping because he kept trading it in for shorter money and kept buying it back for shorter money. And then it was, the guy probably lost his shirt in the transaction. And But as soon as I saw it, I snapped it right up. I was like, sounds good to me. I'll take it. Yeah, exactly. I think indecisive. I don't think it was drugs. I think it was just indecision. You know, I think I like it. I think I don't like it. I love it. Maybe I don't like it. You know, maybe I'm holding it for as a collectible. Maybe I don't want to collect guitars anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know how it goes. You know. Thoughts on Emg Retroactive? I have 2 sets of retroactives. I have the retroactive Fat 50s and the retroactive, I think they're the Hot 70s, and they're both pretty awesome. Really like the sound of both. Yeah, in fact, you could hear. If I think I use the, you look for the Harley Benton video with the. I think it's the most recent one of the SC 550. There's a single cut there, and then the other one is the Harley Benton Fusion. Fusion? Amarok. That's the one. So that wasn't the only sort of craziness this week. It sort of started last week, about 6 or 7 days ago. I got a text from my bank saying, like, did you just make, like, these charges at this, like, gaming auction? I'm like, what? And quite frankly, the screenshot, I was like, what? This is weird. And I think I was mowing the lawn. I said, let me hold on, check this out. So I just went to the app, the banking app. And it popped right up, and they were like, hey, there's been some unusual activity. Was this you? And I'm like, no, it wasn't me. And they're like, choose the items off this list that aren't you. And, of course, it was the 3 attempted but declined purchases at this, like, gaming auction house. And they basically said, your card's been compromised. We've just deactivated it. And I already got my new one, but, I was like, oh, that sucks. That's weird. So the next morning when I wake up, there's a text from Google on my phone saying, yeah, this computer was acting a little strange, and we've deactivated it. We've logged you out. And I'm like, really? Okay. All right, this is getting interesting. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on here. So I go, and I can't get in on the computer. I can't figure out why, but the computer won't start. So I said, okay, let me take a look here. And then my phone starts blowing up. It's Amazon. And they're like, we're seeing some weird logins. And I'm going, oh, great. Okay, here we go. Oh, we're in it now. So they're like, was that you? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, you've got to secure your account right away. So I do that. I just quickly go through. And then I had to spend like the entire day pretty much going through and using a random password generator and just really taking control of all my passwords and having 42 different passwords for 42 different items. And just, I had to put an end to it because, it was just too much. And that took a long friggin', you have no idea how long that takes to go through and do that. But I did it. When I got into Facebook, somebody had logged into Facebook just the prior day. They go like, where did you log in? They show all the places, and all the places were where I live, except one. 2 days prior, someone had logged in from New Jersey. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And what's great is that I had already changed the password for Facebook, and I logged them out. And that seems to have worked. And I finally got around to checking out what was happening on that computer. And the system drive, the SSD, is cooked. It's dead. It won't boot in the system, and it won't even boot. And in fact, when I put it in the system and it wouldn't show, it won't even show in the BIOS. I pulled it out of the system. And I have a USB caddy. I threw the drive in the USB caddy, and I was like, okay, let's take a look at what's going on this drive, and it wouldn't even show up. Then I was like, well, wait a second, unless they rooted your system and they wiped out all your partitions, then you might have an empty drive, or you might have an encrypted drive, which would also show up as a blank drive, and, therefore, right? So open the disk manager and see if you physically can see a disk. It just can't read what's on it, but nothing. The disk wasn't even showing up as a piece of electronics gear. So I had actually just bought that disk a few months ago, and I opened up a friggin' claim with the disk company, and they're gonna give me a new one under warranty. So that worked out. And I know exactly, it's Tone King. That's my immediate thought was, Tone King. New Jersey, Tone King. I actually know what town Tone King lives in, and the town this was not that town. What's interesting is that it is the town that my wife visited with my son, I think, when they went to go to Reefapalooza. I'm pretty sure that was the town. I think my air intake hole is clogging up here. SSD was brute force attacked, overheated to gain access to your home network. Why? To try and reboot the system? Because, I see what you're saying. But they can't, how can they, right, so to try and reboot and get in on a network login? I suppose. I actually didn't need a disk backup on that because that was a relatively new system, and it was pretty light. It's just Windows, I can just reload that, no problem. It didn't really have a ton on that machine, so that was pretty easy. And it had a second data drive in it, and that data drive seems fine. And I ran a full scan on it. It's clean, so. Yeah, the disk failure could just be a coincidence. Exactly, JP. Exactly, the SSD just flat out died, which is not, it's like a Silicon Power, it's like a $90 friggin' 1 terabyte. It's not the most expensive. It's not a Samsung or anything with any, and it's pretty recent. Like I said, it's not. I think I got it mid-May, right? Yeah, or the end of May. So it's pretty recent. It probably just cooked. I've ever tried out a Bill Lawrence L500XL. Is that the blade one? Is that the famous cream blade one that he's had? I probably have, if it's the famous Bill Lawrence blades. That number there, the L500XL, that's kind of ringing a bell. I think I might have. Pretty heavy pickup, if I remember correctly. Had a bit of output. Exactly, my cats. Did I tell you we've caught our cats breaking into the food? Like, we found the side of the bag torn open at the cat food. We're like, oh my God. And I was on the counter and I look over, my cat is tearing at a bag. I'm like, she's clawing at this bag and it's like marshmallows, you know? I'm like, will you get off of that bag? Will you get away from it? And she tears the bag and gets the marshmallow like a mouse. And now she's gonna bat the marshmallow around on the ground and pick it up and walk around with the marshmallow. And I'm like, cats. Fixes a software firewall. I always run a software firewall. Absolutely. Always. I could add a second. I mean, I have a hardware firewall, obviously, through my router, but I suppose I could add another one. You know, run a Ubiquity, right? They would love that because then I could tie everything in together through that Ubiquity. Would keep all kinds of net stats for the whole network, right? It does a lot of snooping, that one. Oh yeah, she is. She's worse than a 2-year-old. I'm like, are you literally stealing a marshmallow right now? Kind of mouse size, a little squishy like a mouse. She's like, yeah. Considering getting a gem with the inlays look a little impractical. It's really a big difference over standard dot. Well, no, you always have the side dots. You know, you always got the side ones, you know. And when you look down at it, I will say, just out of the corner of my eye, there does seem to be more going on here. I am seeing, more activity in these cells right here. You know, they're popping up towards my eye. You wonder if they even hold these inlays at a certain angle to see how the light's popping off of them, because here, I'm seeing a lot of pink and blue, and this is very blue and green, and that's a little bit of pink and white, and actually it's a little bit of rainbow colored, and that's pink and white. And nice. Yeah, blade style. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Run that one, get the logs. What's up, Coots? Cats do the same thing. Yeah, they find food to play with. Right. Grabbing Cheerios and cherries. Does it have the traditional Wizard neck? I think it's a tiny bit bigger than Wizard. Front to back, it's very thin. I think it's a tiny bit wider, maybe, though, than the, I don't know. Hang on, maybe not. No, maybe. I don't know. I can feel my thumb wrap now, though. And I'm like, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm... No. I think it's the Ultra. Right? I think it's, JCRG 2011Z. Yeah. Revealed at the 2011 Winter NAMM show, exclusively for the U.S. market, made it no more than 12 a month. Well, they didn't even get to 12 a month. Has the Edge Zero trem bridge, 5-piece maple walnut neck, RG tray custom, blah, 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 rosewood flame maple binding. Oh, thanks, Alex. No, you rock. Any chance my donation could go start towards a Les Paul Gold Top Fund? I believe it can. Yes. Yes, it can. Gold Top. Actually, I've been wanting the Gold Top. Then the question is do you get the Classic, which will have the thinner neck, but the P90 pickups? Or do you get the 50s, which will have a thicker neck, but it's going to have the humbuckers, the PAFs? The show needs more synth. I don't have any hardware synths to show you this week, but I do have a software synth I might be able to get going. Did they give the I don't think they give the neck shape. What are they calling it? They're giving it a neck shape. Zero Pro. Evidence history book, custom hardshell case, certificate of authenticity. In fact, this has actually come up recently. If you're buying a custom shop guitar, how important is it to have the certificate of authenticity? I think it's actually pretty important, because I think when you get up that high, I know it's just a piece of paper, but it kind of gives people a little bit of peace of mind, and I think people, for that level of guitar, want, you don't need it for a $499 MIM, but for a $4,500 or even a $2,500 Fender custom shop, or even any brand custom shop, I think it's pretty important. Yeah, they don't give the neck shape. Yeah, so the finishes were this is Scarlet Ruby, Violet Amethyst. Hold on. These are the colors. Brown Garnet Shadow. That's the one they made 18 of. Scarlet Ruby, Violet Amethyst, Black Opal, and then there's one more here, the Blue Zircon. Right there. Yep, there's the black. That's always a nice color. That's the one I have. There's the red. And then there's the purple. And that's a different guitar. That's a 2012. All right. Yeah. JCRG 2011Z. That's it. That is this guitar. All right. All right, so let me hold on, I'm getting back here. I see someone says P90. Oh, I'm seeing P90. I'm seeing a lot of P90s. That is very interesting. It's very interesting, the number of P90s. Oh no, there's no way I could wander around my backyard with an ambit full volume. I would really anger my neighbors. We all lived way too close to each other. We got, I'm seeing, get the 50s with P90s, P90, Deluxe Gold Top. Interesting. Okay, the Deluxe, right? So the mini humbuckers. I'm seeing another one for P90s. Michael says get the thick neck, which would be the 50s, because that's where the tone is. Good point, good point. Any news on the Frankie? I haven't. I will bother Scott this week over at Acacia. I'm seeing Dan says P90s. Guitar Sack says P90s. Fretless Ed says Gold Top P90 seem to be out everywhere. Okay. I I could probably find, if I'm going to get one, I'll get one used, you know. Steve FFP from Whitey's Give the Gold Top Fund. Oh, I know. God. Actually, I just sold a synthesizer, just a couple of $100, but it's an old one that it's kind of, you know, the tech wears out after a while. You know. I could replace that tech, you know, in a VST for, you know, with a, you know, a friggin' probably a 200 meg download. Those samples are not very big in some of those old hardware-based synths. They really are small. Andy says P90. Yeah, so Coots responding to about the certificate of authenticity. He says he thinks it's important if you ever want to sell it. I agree, especially if you ever want to sell it again. I get it, but I think if you're faking a custom shop guitar, you'd also be able to fake a piece of paper. Agreed. Yeah, I don't think they're hologram, you know, or anything. What they really need to do is get like RA, right? Something that's really has a little bit of tech to it. You know, if the COA has the serial number on it, that's what counts. Understood. Right. Guitar Man says he has a cert for a few of my newer Gibsons. Both my SG and the Classic came with certs. You know, with born on dates. Guitar Center used right now, $19.99 Les Paul Standard with the 50s neck. Nice. Though I'm not seeing, I'm seeing a lot more. I'm just going to say right now, just looking back here, I'm seeing a lot more love for the P90s. Oh, thanks, Gary. Look at you. Gold top. He says gold top. Gold top. Gold top. Going gold top. Get a $10,000 Murphy Labs V. I would if I could. To be honest, I'd have to make like $10,000 like an hour. Right? To be able to say, sure. 10 G's on a guitar, sure. Certs are only valid if they come with Retsin. I see what you did there. Nice. Aljon says, love me some P90s. You know, there is a certain something about P90s, and right now I had a Harley Benton with P90s. I actually gave it away to a friend of mine. Because I knew he loved it. He had come over here a couple years ago, and he was like, oh, I really like this cheap little, you know, Harley Benton with the P90s. And I was like, yeah. And so I was literally looking to clear out some room down here. And I was like, what's your address? I threw it in a friggin' box and shipped it right out. In fact, I got a few guitars I just got to get rid of, you know. And just open up some room. I think I have another Harley Benton. I think that one, like back here, I think I might. Because I just never play it, you know. Throw it up on, you know, Reverb and see if I can get $300 real quick. Put it towards something like a gold top, you know. I'm sure you can get stacked P90s with a tap. Yeah, somebody, I want to say Guitar Center used had a wonderful looking gold top, but the guy had switched it out with humbucking P90 pickups, you know, from some boutique maker. I don't think it was Lindy Fralin, but it was some boutique maker, but it came with the original pickups. It like includes original pickups. So if you wanted to put the original P90s back in, you could do that. I love that. I thank you. But I think it already sold. I think it sold pretty quickly. Guitar Man says he has 2 gold top P90s. Yeah. Yeah, but then am I being too Robert Baker-ish at that point? I don't have the Harley Benton gold top. That's the one I shipped off. iRock also says gold top with P90s. There's something nice about the bite of P90s. Yeah, it's that in between the bite of like a PAF and the bite of a Strat. Like in that land in between is the P90. Because I think that you get some bite out of apps, and especially Gibson pickups. They have really good bite. Without being overly harsh. Right? That's their claim to fame. That's what makes them so good. In fact, when I had my bro over here, and we had not the Classic, he hasn't been here since I've had this, but when I had the other one there, the Sunburst, he's like, just listen to that. He's like, listen to the bite on those pickups. I'm like, I know. It's unbelievable. I know a lot of God of Thunder today. Well, there's nothing wrong with God of Thunder. Bought a Harley Benton with the P90 from my son. He loves it. Yeah, you know what? They make a good, low-cost guitar. Yeah, the problem is right now, last time I got some Harley Bentons in, I got tagged by customs. I had to pay out some cash, and not insignificant cash either. And I had to sign an affidavit saying that there were no composite woods. But not all Harley Bentons are completely composite wood free. You have to really pay attention. In fact, I was going to have an acoustic scent, but the more I looked at it, it uses an engineered fretboard. I'm like, I don't even want to deal with it. Just send me all solid woods. I don't even want to deal with any engineered woods because I don't want to deal with it in customs. They're having a problem. I guess they're having a real problem. Well, they made me sign an affidavit, so UPS contacted me and basically said, we can't even release these guitars to you until you give us this paperwork. I was like, okay. Save your money and just fix that freaking mini LP already. I do. You know what? I'm going to make some headway on this soon. I was waiting. In fact, we should just talk about that real quick. I was waiting on some Floyd Rose parts from StewMac. They screwed up my order. They did not send me everything that I had ordered. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, I ordered 3 items. You only sent me 1. And they were like, no response. So I had to wait, and they finally got back to me. And to their credit, they got it right out to me. They sent me the remaining 2 items, which showed up today. And I also got a kill switch. Aljon had mentioned it from the company that Aljon had mentioned. What was the Tesla? Tensa? Something like that? The only problem with that is I bought their smallest kill switch, and it's still a little too big for the hole. And so now I have to decide whether or not the pots fit fine, and whether or not I want to enlarge that or leave the Kramer. It is a 1983 Kramer. Like, how much do I want to mod it? I know it would be a very small mod, but it still gives me, I don't know. We'll see. I can tell you this, when the pot's not in there, that paint goes right over that pot corner. It looks gorgeous. So, Tessie, thank you, Tessie switch. I got one of those. I got a Tessie switch. So maybe I'll put the Tessie switch in. I'm still mulling that back and forth. I got all the other parts here now, and although it took 2 attempts to finally get StewMac to send it out, as soon as I they responded to me. They did send it out like immediately, and I got it just a couple of days later. So that all worked out. So I have all the remaining parts now for the Kramer, and I should be able to get it all together now. And I think I know what I'm going with for pickups. I will surprise you when I reveal the final guitar. What else do I got? What else? What's up, Cushman? Somewhere Dave from Dave's World of Fun Stuff is laughing and cursing. Well, you know, I could very easily ream the hole out. But do you want to do that on an old Kramer, you know, on a vintage Kramer? Maybe. You knew that order was mine? Tessie. Pedro says, I love P90. Can sound like a humbucker with single coil clarity. I agree. It is a little different sound. It's not quite the same as single coil or humbucker. It really is its own person. And in that sense, and I think I can get a smaller neck if I prefer the smaller neck. I think I can get a classic with the P90s and get a 60s neck on it. I think there may be something like that out there. At some point in the lineup, they made that. Right now, if I want a gold top and I want the current lineup, it's going to be the fatter 50s neck. It's just what they're doing. And are they doing a classic? There was some new stuff. Trying to remember what it was here. Yeah, so if we go to it's the 50s P90 though, so it's going to have that little bit thicker neck. I could have sworn they not the modern. Oh yeah, the exclusives. Yeah, see, if they did this, you get the classic, which is going to have a thinner neck, and get that in like a gold top. We'll see. I'll keep looking. And then the other thing is there's a big debate between the dark back, and the light back. I think I'm in the dark back category, which I feel is more like the original OG 50s, which I think what this is, right? The brown versus there was a while there they were doing it more blonde. Maybe the blonde was on the back of the deluxe. I don't even remember. But it seems like the stain on the back can be variable, right? Sometimes it's more like this, which is I would call a middle color. Sometimes it was much lighter than this, and other times it was actually much darker than this. I think depending on whether you got the traditional or you know what I'm saying, what the designation was. But they would have P90s, and it would be a gold top, right? Like everything else is there, but the back stain is just a little bit different. Off by tiny shades. Anyway, yeah, gold top. Good call on the gold top. Good call. How about a gold back? I think that you actually could get a fully gold guitar. I think they made... I'm sure they did. You could get an all gold at some point. It was a gold back. Right? I'm sure that's out there. Could be a studio, though. Unless you go custom shop and have it built how you want. Well, that can add up. That can get a little pricey. Let's not go nuts. Let's go, just a little nuts. Ace Frehley Silver. Okay, so Guitar Man says you can. Yeah, you have one. Okay. The best guitar is the one you don't. I know the grass is always greener, isn't it? Okay, so Aljon has some info here. The Gibson Limited Fort Knox. Oh, I like the name of that one. All gold. We'll call it King Midas. Or gold member. I'd like to see a competition of a vintage 57 gold top versus a modern version. Well, you have to remember that I think a lot of vintage instruments, to some degree, have a lot more legend than, right? Because the machinery wasn't quite as, accurate back then, and you know what I'm saying? It's like there's been a lot of improvement and just manufacturing processes over the years. So that's that's sort of the irony of it. I remember I played a 57 Strat, and it was checked from head to toe. So the back of the neck was kind of really rough, and it was like a baseball bat. I was like, "Whoa, this is a big guitar neck." That's pretty big. And I was there with a Kramer, with probably an 86 neck, which was, it came down to a point and it said Kramer in the small 3D block and then American in the script after that. Right? There was like this little period where they had that Kramer American. It hadn't gone quite to the larger Kramer that slopes down to the smaller, which is how they did like their last 2 or 3 years. There was a little period where they did the block Kramer with the American in script, and that was the neck I had, which, was a relatively small neck, but wow, that 57 Strat, my God, talk about disappointing. It's like my holy grail guitar, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, that's awful. That is not pleasant to hold or play. Exactly, Goldfinger. Gold member. Name it Odd Job. Totally agree. I think people would be surprised to find modern guitars tend to sound and play better than the vintage stuff. Yeah, there has been years over years, there's been improvements in manufacturing. So I just think that, and don't get me wrong, there are some old, Les Pauls that are just, same with Strats, just legend, right? And they have all kinds of mojo and all this stuff. But, it's not any mojo you couldn't get with a new guitar. Just play it. I like the sound of these. These are DiMarzios. I think they're, I think it's a Tone Zone and an Air Norton. Is that what it is? I'm trying to remember now. Let me see if I can find it. It is, yeah, Tone Zone in the bridge. DiMarzio Tone Zone in the bridge, a DiMarzio True Velvet in the Medal, and a DiMarzio Air Norton in the neck. Norton! I'll give you the updated tour next time you're in Nashville. Oh, I would love that. In fact, I'd like to plan a trip down. I'm glad I didn't go to Summer NAMM. It looked like a bit of a bust. And when I was pricing out seats and everything else, it was kind of pricey. I'll try and let the humidity break. It'll come down in the fall, or even the winter. I'm sure my wife would love to get away and go to Nashville for like a weekend. What am I playing through? I'm playing through a little bit of software. THU by Overloud. I know, exactly. And monetize. You did miss the drop B. Ready? We're going to hear it again. It's the #1 song in Croatia right now. How you doing, RJ? That's my favorite song, exactly. They're playing my song. Yeah. Easy there, Tiger. That's the brown note. Look at that. Flames for days. You know how many A's this top is? Nobody does. No one can count that high. It's infinite A's. That's how many A's. You could look down the street and you'd see those A's just go on forever. That's how many A's this top is. What did you miss? I wrote a song. A love song. I love you. Love you. Love. Love. It's very 2000s. How'd you get down here? Where'd you come from? I've snapped many tremolo bars in a day. What's wrong with me? I was doing that too. I kept snapping the bar. in my Strat, and I figured out maybe not put 5 springs in the back, dummy. That was my problem. I was like putting all these springs in the back for tone. And then when I would bend, it wouldn't drop. And then when I would use the bar, there'd be so much tension, I wound up just snapping bars off. I snapped like 2 or 3 bars off in that block. I don't think I can... This has an anti-flutter system in it. It really does. I swear to God, I would need a more floating trem. These are... what I want to say, these are stabilized. So when I hit a note, I'm not hearing warble. Normally the bridge, like an RG 550, that bridge would warble a little bit with a really heavy right-hand attack. I'm not hearing that at all. Zero return if you take the little bar out. It will flutter. Oh, really? So there's a way you can turn that off. Yeah, this is what do they call this? I think you're right. The zero return. Isn't that what it's called? What's it called? This is called, yeah, the Edge Zero with ZPS 3. I have no idea what that means. Yeah, this is not a very Brad Gillis friendly. I actually have coffee left. Exactly, Tone Springs. I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. And finally I did one. It's almost like, maybe not like have so much force in the back end of your guitar. Like, okay, yeah, okay, you're making sense now. Because we were able to take 2 of the springs out and it made almost no difference in how it played. It still didn't tilt forward. It still didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like it was the same exact thing, but then the bar worked without breaking the bar off every time I used it. That was on me though. You know, wasn't thinking about it. That is good. A little bar hooks into 2 small springs. Okay. Oh, yeah, Mark. At least you made it for the last, 25 minutes or so? Right, the 0-point module. Right, ZPM. Yeah, 0-point system. So I'm going to say it again, late night stream, there is a fresh pot of coffee up there. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. So did you see Henning's doing his thing? A couple of weeks over in Germany. Germany should be interesting. I will not be there, but I think there's only 2 guys from the U.S. going. Probably I think it's Trey and someone else, probably Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum. Ibanez claims you can break a string and it stays in tune. Do it, break a string. No way! I'm too cheap. Can't watch Henning, he bugs you. You know, he's an acquired taste, but I like Henning. He's a he's a guy he's into it. You know, he really, you know, he's organized, and he does a good job putting that whole thing together. Way more organized than I am. Yeah, I think Glenn's going to be there, but Glenn's Canadian. That doesn't count. I think from the U.S. it's... Although I think Perfecto de Castro's going, and I think he's in L.A. now. So that would be 3 guys from the U.S. But I'm not going. I don't think RJ's going. I know that Phil McKnight is not going. We were all there last time. Trying to think who else from the U.S. But the cost of travel right now is kind of high. It's a little tricky. The last time I went, I want to say he paid. It was ridiculously low. My round trip to Germany was like $679 or something like that. That's round trip. You know, international round trip for under $700. That was really cheap. I think right now it's about $1,800. If you're lucky, you might get a last minute like bump because they were basically saying like, because I looked it up the other day. I said, well, what would it be like right now? And it was around $900, which is, that's not crazy. But when you went to go book the seat, there were no seats. They had oversold the flight. There literally were no seats to take. You know? So it's like, I'll see you next year. I'll see you next year. Can't do it. No, Glenn was living in L.A. a little bit, but I think he's back in Canada now. I think he's been back in Canada for like 6, probably since the pandemic. To be honest, he probably was back up in Canada. Because for a while there, they were not allowing traffic over the border, and I think he wanted to be on the Canadian side. At his house, you know, which he still owns. Stay home, turn your camera on, and go live. You know, I probably will go live with somebody. I know last year they were China Guitar Skeptic, who's also going again. See, it's easier for him because he's coming from the UK. He did some live things, and I was able to go in through, I forget if it was like WhatsApp or I forget. He had some app that aggregated it, and it worked, and I was able to log in and say hello to him over in Germany. Also with COVID restriction, also limiting travel as well. Yeah, I think you're right, Terry. Probably like mid-2022 until it's really starting to relax again. You know, airlines are hurting and want to catch in the market. Yeah. Well, they want to cash in on the market. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a they've got to make some money back. They were really hurting for a while, so I don't think prices are going to be very competitive for a little while. And that, you know what, quite frankly, if you look, and I was traveling so much before that, you kind of get to know the flights. A lot of those flights are gone, right? There's a lot fewer flights out there right now. So just supply and demand. Fewer flights means higher prices, right? Because they don't have to fill as many seats. Change patches? Yeah, I can change patches. What do you like? We can do, let me bring this up here. Hold on. I got So that was on Silver Jubilee, I think. Yeah, that was Silver Jubilee. You can hear it. That's a dual heavy rig. And that's Behave lead. This is more of a Marshall. Oh, thanks, Tone Lives. What's up, Larry John? We got about another 15 minutes. Just check the forecast. 100, 104, 105. That's pretty hot for Oregon. We're going to be, I think, we probably got 85 or 90 today, and then I think we're going to cool off a little bit, but then heat up again. So we're all over the place. More rain, too. More showers. You could also try, I think I have a I think I like the Behave lead. Oh, thanks, Johnny. Yeah, 4 cats to feed. What amp did Sean play the solo with Don't Stop Believing with? I gotta think it was a Marshall. If it wasn't a Marshall, I gotta think it was a Soldano. What's up, Robert? Do you have a low-high filter when I record tracks through multi-effects USB? I always need to apply one. I don't, but what's the one thing that I want to say THU is really good at is their cabinet simulation. Generally, when it sounds a little too bright, it's because the cabinet simulation is just sort of weak or just sort of okay. And so it comes out like sort of bright and hissy, right? To get a really good warm tone, you need really good warm cabs. And I think that's where, THU is, they're pretty good. A lot of them now, they've all gone to IRs. And that was, everyone tried to do emulation, and it always sucked. Never really sounded that good. They're like, check out our new emulator. Yeah, it's garbage. Go run it. You should run right back to IRs, and most people did. I think it was Guitar Rig that did that, right? I think version 3, version 3 used IRs. Version 4, they're like, we created our own cabinet emulator. It was garbage. Version 5, they're like, we're back to IRs again. Yeah, fires nearby. Oh my God. Yeah, that's one thing we don't deal with around here because it is just way too humid here. And in the springtime, we can get a little dry, right? But it's pretty rare around here. It's just way too wet. Just way, way too moist. Grelbar says the rumor had it was a 50-watt PV. Okay. Again, that's an amp that was around back then. Damn late as hell. I apologize. How are you, Steve? I'm good. You have to check most in the redo because I'm wrapping up in about 10 minutes or so. PV Mace. That would make sense. Check out the THU Super Cabinet. Yeah, I haven't checked that out yet. I will. I'm so lazy. Well, I've been not lazy. God, I spent the week working so hard to make sure the basement didn't flood, and then the rain never showed, at least in the quantity necessary to flood. So we got rain. It wasn't enough. Yeah. No, Boston feels tropical for a good chunk of the year. I know. No, we're full on tropical. In fact, that's what they call it when we get the heavy rain. Tropical rainstorms, tropical downpours. Oh, God. Gives me friggin' agita. It's not an 8570. This is the USA market one. It's pretty much the same guitar, though. This is the USA market one called the JCRG 2011Z. Mahogany body, maple cap. And then the 5-piece maple and walnut neck. I very rarely play this guitar, and I have to tell you, I've sort of enjoyed playing it tonight. I play this thing like probably less than a half dozen times a year, unlike, a lot of the other guitars that are a little bit out and more accessible. And plus, when you have, I keep everything in the case together. It's very heavy. It's like a lot to pick up the case. The case is very oversized and wooden, and it's got all the crap in it, plus the book. The book adds another couple of pounds to it. in the toolkit and all the stuff that goes in it. You know, it's quite a monstrosity, but. Oh yeah, what is the radius of the neck? I gotta think it's 12, or are they 14? I go, what are they even say? I'm at the wiki right now. It says 24 jumbo frets, but I'm not seeing a. You know, but that's the wiki. Let me see if I can. Let me do another quick look here. Somebody else. Okay, okay. Here's some specs. 5-piece maple walnut neck, AAA flame top, AAA flame matched headstock, AAA flame binding. It's compound radius, 18 millimeters at the first fret and 20 millimeters at the 12th fret. That translates to an 830 millimeter radius rosewood fretboard. Abalone and pearl J custom vine inlay, a 43 millimeter nut width. Jumbo frets finished to the highest standard with ball ends. Nice. As my British friends would say, it's a ball end. He's a bit of a ball end. A mahogany body, countersunk knobs, Edge Zero trim with ZPS 3, direct mount pickups, Air Norton True Velvet, Tone Zone, Cosmo hardware, special USA J custom case. Available in black opal, brown garnet shadow, blue zircon, violet amethyst, and scarlet ruby. $46.65 is the list price. And he has it, his lowest, it's a discontinued model, but he was showing it here at $2,800 shipping if you paid cash. Well, this guy's a tool. $2,910 if you're paying with a credit card. What a tool. I already don't like this guy. And that's with it being inspected. If you want it inspected and tested, it's $29.75 or $30.95. Then he has all these things where he does all this like work to it, including fret work. And I'm like, dude, it's got some of the greatest fret work on the planet. Why would I even want you to touch my brand new guitar? You know, and really, you're gonna customize the frets of a guitar that has some of the best fretwork in the industry? A guitar that just cost the guy $3,000 and you're going to charge him. What does he want for that crap? He wants like $200, $300. I just want to see what's in the platinum package. Hold on here. It's annoying me. Oh. It's like, why would anyone ever... Does he, I don't know, he doesn't show it. Ordering payment. Oh, okay, hold on. Package level details. Oh, God, it's too long to read. The bronze package. Oh, my God. You know what? Let me just say this. I'll just say this. It's too long to read. Whoever that is, he went to the... Oh, God. Who was that guy? Who was the... Who was that guy that used to be out of, oh God, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Who was that guy who used to be out of, who was the guy who used to be out of, oh God, his name is on the tip of my tongue here. He passed away. But he used to be out of Connecticut, and then he moved out to Vegas. You need an appointment to go look at his guitars. He was famously a bit of a tool. Most likely just like overinflated almost everything. Ed Roman, thank you. Ed Roman. This guy went to the Ed Roman School of Marketing, right? He's got like a 3,000 word manifesto about what he's doing on the guitar. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then the funny thing is if you read it, there's a lot of like, yeah, I'm going to work on the frets, but even though I try my hardest not to like scratch the guitar, it's probably going to happen. And I'm like, what are you doing? Who would ever do that? How would you ever get a brand new J Custom guitar made with like the highest quality available to, you know, and give it, and the first thing you're going to do is have a guy like crown the frets? Why? It makes no sense to me. Everything to justify the money. I guess so. I mean, what are you talking about? Okay, and I'll just give you this is what you're talking about, right? You see this? This is all, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. This is in the bronze package. You know, every guitar has a basic setup, modifications, notes. It's going to be taking notes, pre-inspection, you know, mid-inspection, post-inspection. That's a lot of words. Fret surface playing, highly polished to 6,000 grit. Don't touch my brand new Ibanez, bro. Why would you? Why? A nut route? It's not crisp, and I'll flush it. Don't touch it. Just send it with all its flaws, brah. I mean, seriously, who is doing this? A silver package, a gold package on my brand new J Custom? After the fret level and crowning is finished? Why would you do that? It's a brand new guitar. Brand new. It's a tedious job that's repeated 44 to 48 times. I mean, what do you... This is why I'm not good in business, okay? Because I could never do that. I could never look someone in the eye and say, spend your money doing that. You just bought a brand new J Custom. But let me tape off the neck and put a file on it. Please. Please. That's just... What was that? Yeah, that website was... it was made in 1998. It's Netscape approved. It's Netscape ready. Yeah, I'll take the as-is package. You know what? Skip the inspection. Don't even look at it. I don't even want you to touch my guitar. You know what? Just forward the sealed-up box to my house. Thank you. I'll take my chances with warranty service on a J Custom, and you're an authorized dealer. I'll take my chances with Ibanez. Don't touch my guitar. Seriously. I mean, if that was coming in and that was something like, you know, like a Harley Benton, and he's like, listen, sometimes these things come in a little rough. You want to spend $50 and spruce up your Harley Benton? You know what I'm saying? But even since I've switched to Indonesia, that even hasn't been a problem. You know? So, again, it's just a complete lack of respect for the exacting standards that especially a guitar like a J Custom would be made. It's like, I don't even want you touching it. Just... Yeah, delusions of grandeur. I think so, man. I agree with that. It is. It kind of is. You know? Yeah, and oh God. I saw this line. So under the platinum, it's all the crap you get in the first. He's ruining your guitar. It's all the crap he used to ruin your guitar before. And then he gets The scraped wood is then sanded with 400 grit. Fret ends are rubbed down with mesh. The entire fretboard with fret ends are scrubbed with steel wool. Really? Really, bro? My brand new J Custom, you're scrubbing my whole thing? The frets are masked off. A metal polishing process begins. Done on, all the polishing done to the silver level. And then he goes, at this point, I'm out of tricks. There's nothing left I can do to make the guitar better in any way. It's like, dude, you didn't make this guitar better. Look at this line. You didn't make this guitar better when you touched it, okay? You made it worse. You turned a brand new guitar into a used instrument before it left the store. Don't touch the guitar. I mean, seriously, I'm going from mildly amused to, like, kind of annoyed by it. And I just can't even believe. I just pray that no one bought his stupid platinum package, because it just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Again, that's a very Ed Roman level of, I'm doing this, let me list in excruciating detail all these steps I'm taking, as if each step is an improvement. Not necessarily. Exactly. Steel wool man. I know, exactly, Coots. I'm gonna have a friggin' heart attack here. Yeah. Then I use my patented, steel wool and Scotch-Brite pads. It's like, that's a brand new guitar. That guitar has had an attention to detail like any custom shop guitar would have, straight out of the goddamn custom shop. Why anything? Why would anyone need to do anything? The first thing you're going to do with a brand new, and this isn't some like RG like 550 or 560, which are still amazing guitars. This is a J Custom. And he's going, yeah, let me polish the frets. Yeah, hard pass, brah. They love the guy on the Ibanez Rules website. Wow. I don't know why. I mean, I could see if you bought it like a used guitar, and he's like, look, I can make this guitar like new. I can, dress these frets, right? I can really make this nice, so I could set this up. That's great. I get. That's no problem. Used guitar, and I'm going to put my platinum package, and now the guitar is going to be nice. It's going to cost you a couple of $100, but you're going to get like, nice fret work, and I'm going to clean it all up, and I'm going to make it the platinum package. That's actually a really good idea. I actually like that idea. But a brand new J Custom, straight from the factory, a brand new guitar, and not just any guitar, but a J Custom, don't touch it. Don't get your tools near it. Steel wool. Okay. Now I need to calm down. All right. No, you rock. I will see you guys in a week. And the guy's name is Richie Surviving His Rose. I mean, clearly somebody's doing it. Somebody must like it. I could never do that. Again, for a used guitar, I think that's brilliant, right? That's actually really nice. You come up with a nice package to say, listen, you get a used guitar, it's a little rough. Let me spruce it up, make it like a new guitar. That's great. But a brand new guitar, and not just a brand new guitar, but a brand new J Custom? What does it need? You're buying the pinnacle. It's like, can you imagine if like you got in, a Fender custom shop and the dealer said the first thing I want to do is dress these frets? I'd be like, why? Or a brand new, Gibson custom shop, and they're like, yeah, we're going to crown and level the frets. What? It's brand new. Anyway, all right, dudes. I did buy this from Guitar Center. We were just looking up the model, and I came across this guy's website, and I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I did buy this off of Guitar Center used for $14.99, and his cheapest one is $29.99. So it gives you an idea of what the difference between new and used. And that's before you get to his bronze, silver, gold, or platinum packages. Anyway, no, you rock. He calls it the Donner Party treatment. Exactly, the Donner Custom. Yeah, he's in the upsell business. Yeah, he's in the upsell business. Oh, yeah, always with the upsells. God damn it. All right. Super thanks to everyone who hung out. Super extra thanks to anyone who contributed tonight. Really appreciate it. And, of course, massive thanks and shout out to me, Mod Squad, hashtag Mod Squad, for moderating tonight. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in a week. We're already at 9:06. I'm sure they're grumpy up there. We'll let everybody out. And I'll see you in a week. And until then, rock on. I'll try to calm down. And I will ping you guys if you're up late. If you haven't pressed the notification bell, you should, because if I do a live stream late at night, I think you have to be bell clicked in order to get the notification when I go live. But there you go. All right, dudes. No promises. We'll see. I'm feeling a little tired after that rant. All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk soon. Later.